spotlight on the women creating an impact, leading organizations, and mission-focused strategic programs across the federal technology and consulting community. This is Impact. I'm being joined today by Kelly Bennett, the Deputy Director, Office of Data, Analytics, and Information Advantage at HHS Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response. Kelly, thank you for hopping on to join us today.
Great. Thank you, Marianne, for having me.
No problem. So tell me first what it is that you do as the Deputy Director.
Our office focuses on data to support decision-making of senior leadership. We have a wide range of ways that we support across the organization. We have several different systems, whether it be an emergency response system or ordering system for medical countermeasures, data hubs where a lot of the information within ASPR as well as across the federal government and our partners can come in. And then we have teams that support with informational products for senior level decision makers, including at times the HHS Secretary and the White House. We do also deploy some of our staff during emergencies. We recently deployed for Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. So we have staff that go to the field and help to make sense of all of the information, as you can imagine, during an emergency response in our country, so that we can deploy the right people and the right products and medical equipment that is needed during these times.
Okay. So now let's talk about your journey and your career. What personal experiences have you found most rewarding in shaping your professional journey, and how have they positively influenced your leadership style?
Yeah, well, I'm going to start a while ago because I feel like everyone's history sort of makes them who they are as they become a leader. So when I graduated from undergrad, I did a volunteer year with a program like AmeriCorps, and worked at a nonprofit where I learned about working, with a mission in mind. And that is actually could be seen throughout the rest of my career, is being mission driven. I have worked in different types of nonprofits and now in the public sector. And, with my current organization, you can't go wrong with the mission. The mission is to save lives.
Right.
So it's very, very easy to get behind that mission and to work all of the hours in emergency response, because in the end, we are saving lives. After that experience, I ended up getting a presidential management fellowship with the federal government. This is a leadership program for folks who have graduated with an advanced degree. It's to bring people into the government, give them an opportunity to learn about federal service. And so I started at the National Cancer Institute, and then I then did a detail opportunity with my current organization, and ended up staying there and have grown from an entry level data analyst to a leadership position and a deputy office director position. Have learned a lot along the way about our specific area, which tends to be domestic emergency response. Have dealt with many different disasters our country has faced, or emergencies, including Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Maria, Ebola, COVID, and many others. But honestly, it was really, so as that time was going on, I was learning more, growing more, taking more leadership opportunities, but it was really COVID-19 that has sort of just exploded my career. I did several things during that time that have really challenged me as a leader. One of the first things I did was be a part of the data strategy and execution work group, which was the work group that was in direct support of the White House. So, we were providing reports and other information to the White House, including one of my favorites, which was early on, President Biden would carry around a note card with numbers on it. So we would do his note card every morning.
Oh, that's cool.
Or in the evening, and he would be ready for him in the mornings. And then, a little bit later, I was asked to help with the transition of all the data and analytics that was started with Operation Warp Speed for the COVID-19 vaccine. It was led by DoD. But HHS wanted to transfer this capability into HHS instead of being this outside run by DoD. DoD had to go back to their positions. So I was asked to come and help all of this land. It meant, figuring out how to hire people because all of those military folks were leaving. It meant understanding all the contracts, the budget that we had. And we were in response still. We were just about to launch the antivirals and several other programs that were ongoing, as well as the, very intense vaccine mission. I have to say, I was nervous, scared to take this. It felt like, wow, am I at a space where I can actually do this? And honestly, it's been one of the best opportunities, the best things I've ever chosen to do in my career is to take something that really scared me, and forced me into a higher level leadership with much more responsibility.
Sometimes taking those scary leaps lead to some good things.
They do. They really do.
So now with all of this, doing all the emergency response and how do you stay inspired and continue your growth as a leader? And how do you turn challenges into opportunities for development? Yeah.
So, I think one of the key things that I do is I'm an introvert and I
Same.
I tend to watch really good leaders and see how they navigate challenging situations. Learn how they operate, how they make their decisions, what information they're asking for to make their decisions. And then I try to emulate that when I'm put in a situation that's similar. So, I can take what I learned by watching them and put it into practice. And I think one of the things that it's hard to acknowledge, but, we're going to fail. You are going to fail many, many times in your career. You're going to make mistakes. Things aren't going to work the way you expect it to work. Sometimes you're working on projects where it's not just you're reliant on many other groups for the success of your project. And, you just have to learn from what happened and try to change things up the next time around. But every time you feel like you made a mistake or you may have failed, it's a chance to reevaluate how that mistake happened and what could be done differently in the future. So I really try to put that into practice and think about that. In emergency response, it isn't always so great because once we're, finishing one, we're on to the next. But, we do try to have a way to, make corrective actions for, the issues that we face.
Great. So now how can organizations create more supportive environments to nurture and mentor women to become emerging leaders, ensuring a vibrant and inclusive leadership pipeline?
Yeah. One of the things that I actually think about pretty often is to make sure that we have a pipeline. I mean, I am a prime example of of having leveraged a pipeline.
Yeah.
The entry analyst, the entry person should be able to see themselves, see a pathway to get into my position or positions higher of a higher level than I am. But you have to have that in place. You have to have the scaffolding in place where people can move up as they grow and mature. And I think the other thing is another thing that I routinely do is try to go on Fridays. It's a little less busy on Fridays. Is to have an open office hours for anyone on my team to come in. And I also hope that, I use it as a time where if someone has just a mentoring question, that this is an opportunity for them to stop in, talk with me, and we could have a chance to just sync then and maybe schedule another time. I would say third is, I am frequently asked to do informational interviews with young women, with women who are, either in grad school or just finished, is to make sure you're available and just take the 30 minutes to sit down and chat with young women who are trying to figure out their career path. Give them some advice that, you either got or wished you had gotten when you were in their spot. So I really do try anytime I'm asked to make myself open and available to informational interviews.
That's really important to make yourself available to people like that. That really, and it not only helps them with their career, but also inspires them to become someone that they could achieve to be, to find their full potential.
Yes, exactly.
So now, what exciting trends or developments in the workplace do you believe will positively shape the future of leadership, and how can leaders best prepare to embrace these changes?
Yeah, I think, one of the things that I think has been, it's a result of the pandemic, but the more flexibilities and the remote work, I think it truly does, lead to a happier workforce.
Right.
And I think it really benefits women, to have that flexibility, to be able to manage a busy career and a busy home life. So that would be one that I think is a way that, the trends where we're heading. And, I think we're still trying to find a balance, of how much remote work and in what industries. But I think in general, it really, I can tell you that my team is happy to have the flexibility. I haven't seen their work degrade. They're still doing high level, excellent work.
I find that myself, I work more because I'm working from home because the computer's right here and I can put my son to bed and I come in and start responding to emails. So I work more actually than if I was in an office. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think, some people will say that. I think still I enjoy the flexibility to be able to do that if I need to do that.
Yep.
And I think just, encouraging the leadership and training opportunities, encouraging our younger generation workforce to, get the leadership opportunities that they're looking for, and, creating a way for them to, gain the experience and have the confidence to, try out different opportunities that are coming. I mean, our work is changing each and every year. And to be able to adjust to, the different things that are happening, as AI comes into the picture, how do we bring that into, what we do every day, and those kinds of things. How do we have the training to use it appropriately and intelligently?
Awesome. Well, Kelly, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think I would just, like to say to those out there that work hard. That's what got me where I am. Work hard. Don't be afraid if an opportunity presents itself, don't be afraid. Some of the best things that will happen in your career probably scare you.
Mm-hmm.
And also don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Like, sometimes you just have to get into the weeds a little bit on something and you'll learn so much. Not only about that work, but with the people that you work with.
Excellent. Well, Kelly, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you very much, Marianne. It was great to be here.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you're keeping up to date on the latest episodes, and learn more at govforum.io.